Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started on this special, unique type of podcast, I just want to explain to you what has happened. Recently, we did a podcast with Mr. Peter Kotsiris of Northcote, Irakli. And unfortunately, the last part of the podcast was lost in post-production, technical difficulties. So what we're going to do for you guys is we've come in today and we're going to basically reiterate what Peter has said in the part of the podcast that we lost and try to get his points across that he made. So 90% of these facts, opinions, and all of that will be what Peter said. We want to thank Peter and Northcote for allowing us at the club. It was incredible, and we apologise for the cutout video. But we got to do what we got to do. So we'll move on and finish off the episode for you in a way. So if the audio sounds different or whatever, then that's the reason. What's good, everybody? Jerome from Suited and Booted. We're in a different location today. I've got the Lord with me, Suited and Booted as always. And today we are at Northcote City, Irakli, for a very special podcast with a legend of the club, the man, the myth, the legend, Kotsi. How you going, mate?
I'm a bit disappointed you called me a myth, mate. I'm right in front of you. I'm real. No, thank you for the introduction. Much appreciated, and a pleasure to be on the show, especially with the Lord, eh?
This is a little full circle moment for the Lord.
It is.
You were playing here how long ago?
11 years now, mate. 2013.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you
2013.
know, yep. We'll
11 years ago.
Yeah.
That's why when we walked in, Kotsi was saying, I can't fucking picture seeing you in a suit.
Yeah.
Because you probably...
No, I get it. Suited and booted.
That's what I mean. See?
Makes sense. Beautiful chemistry.
Thank you. We were speaking about it before, but I guess we'll just reiterate on how long you've been in the club, personally involved. Mm-hmm. And then I guess from that timeline, talk us through how you ended up becoming president.
Wow. Well, I was president for 2 years. We worked backwards from 2012 and 2013. But originally, I was in the first batch of juniors that played at the club back in 1979 when I was 7 years old. Played here until I was about 16. Never good enough. I've got to really make that point. Went away for a couple of years, played Darabin United, which was a state football club back at the time. They were in the amateur soccer league. Just had a bit of fun with some mates there. And then eventually, I just had a love of the game. I did some media work on an old 3AK, which was called Super Soccer Sunday.
Okay.
With Greg Blake and Peter the Zero and Sebastian Italia. I did some writing for Australian Soccer Weekly, so I always had that love of the game. And obviously, Northcote being my local club, I just got involved. We needed some younger people to help out, and the rest is history. So the last 30-odd years I've been on a committee or volunteering at the club, which is labour of love. But I've got to say, also I was a massive South Melbourne fan.
Oh, really?
In the NSL days, yeah. So South Melbourne's also a club that's very close to my heart.
So when you were first hanging around here in the, let's say, 80s, was everyone here Greek? Or was it just local people?
Majority were Greek, obviously, because the area, Northcote, Thornbury, surrounding areas was very Greek orientated. Mm-hmm. It's changed a lot now, but at the time it was very much Greek orientated. But having said that, the club has been open to nationalities and all walks of life. It didn't really matter what your background was. The opportunity to play football was always here. So that for me was really important because, as you know, Melbourne has changed we're still a very multicultural city, but the demographic of areas has changed.
So in saying that, and that's a commendable, I guess, ideology to have as a club, how important is the Greek history and culture to this club? Because look, a lot of clubs in the NPL, not only in Melbourne, but in Sydney and other, Adelaide or whatever, have big Greek influence. How important is that to the fabric of the club, you think?
It's important because you must always you've got to always remember your roots. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether you're Greek, Italian, Serbian, Croatian, it doesn't matter. They're your roots. So I think that Greekness of the club will always be there. But like I said, we're open to everyone. It doesn't matter. You want to play football, or you want to be part of the club in any way, shape, or form.
Come on down.
Yeah.
I think we should kick it off by saying, so you become president. You're president for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when there's a change of ownership or presidents or, hierarchy, either something needs to change or people want something to change. So when you first stepped into the role, what were the first things that you thought, okay, this is what I need to address. That's what I need to address.
First of all, I like the fact that you can swear on the show.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Can I ask before you get into that? How did you become?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So when I took over at the end of 2011, going into the 2012 season, it was on the back of probably the most successful period the club had had.
Yep.
So we got relegated at the end of 2006. 2007, we had a year in State 2, and one of my best mates, Jim Macro, took over presidency in 2008, and he probably oversaw that real drive and success the club had. Back-to-back championships in 08 and 09.
Yep.
Got back into the Premier League, as it was known, Victorian Premier League, as it was known back then, and we made finals in our first year, which not many people expected.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then 2011, we won the Mirabella Cup, which is today's Doherty Cup. So, and then Jim resigned at the end of 2011. He was getting married, so different commitments in his life. And there was no one else I could think of that could step into the role, or nobody else really wanted the role. So I put my hand up, and then I had to deal with the coach going. Peter Kotsiris went to South Melbourne. Trent Rickson went to South Melbourne. The Trifero brothers went to South Melbourne. So we lost Nick Soulis, another one, and we went to another. We lost about 6-7 players from that 2011 squad.
Right when you stepped in.
Right when I stepped in, yeah. But I wasn't too bothered because I knew that we had a magnificent assistant coach in Goran Lozanovsky who had tremendous experience in the game in Victoria. So, I knew that in the back of my mind, the first person I was going to appoint was Loza. And once he agreed to take the job, I just gave him one simple instruction: don't get relegated, right? Because obviously it was going to be a rebuild. And to his credit, and to the players' credit, that year that everybody had tipped us to be relegated, we made finals again. Yeah. So, and we won our first finals game. We beat Bentley over at Bentley Greens 1-0 in extra time. Milos Luic scored the winner with 10 men, and we got knocked off against Green Gully the following week. But it was a platform to build for the following season. So what we knew that we had at this club was a great camaraderie amongst the players, and that was well known throughout Victorian circles. So it was easy for us to also attract the calibre of player that we were looking for. We didn't have much money. That I can categorically tell everybody. But we were able to sign guys like Rash because he had mates playing at the club. And when things didn't work out for you, I think it was at South Melbourne.
Well, they offered me as well.
I know.
It's interesting. They offered me.
It was actually interesting.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting story because the day that Rash came and trained, Loza just came into the office and said, sign him. Didn't hesitate. And we did. He agreed on terms. And I think it was Carl Riccio might have done his knee, and South Melbourne called you back, but you had already agreed and you kept your word, even though they'd offered you a lot more money than what we had you on.
Yeah.
But
That's right. That's right. You got a better memory than me.
Mate, I'm refreshing your career. But that's exactly what happened. So from my perspective, it was always a case of, okay, we're building something now, and we bought something. Obviously signing Rash, even though he came late, it was like the icing on the cake. We had a really strong side, and we started the season, I think, that year with 9 wins on the trot. Something ridiculous.
You know what? Do you remember though that in the preseason we didn't win a game?
Yeah.
We didn't win a game, and then
we hardly won a game.
I don't think we
Should
won.
we talk about Lorne?
I was thinking about bringing this topic
Don't tell me you lost to a fucking team out in Lawn.
Mate, talking about getting some team chemistry together.
Team bonding.
Yeah,
okay.
We had a pre-season trip in Lawn, and we played a game in Geelong against Hume. So we were staying there for the weekend. And I think Rash, inadvertently, without even realising it at the time, brought the group closer together, all over a sausage roll.
What did you do, mate?
Do you want me to say the story? Do you remember it?
You probably won't remember.
I honestly don't.
Basically, what happened? There was only. We were talking about Lorne, a small coastal seaside town. Yeah. The boys have been on the sauce all night. There's only one place open where you can get something to eat late at night, so no kebab shops or anything like that. Yep. So Rash is lining up to get a sausage roll or a pie with the rest of the boys. Someone jumped the queue. Rash took a little bit of liberty, telling that person you shouldn't be doing that. That person bit back, and it's fair to say that there was an array of violent behaviour.
We're talking an all-in brawl of probably about 50 people.
Yeah.
Who cut in front of you? A random?
So there was maybe like an AFL, not as in a professional, but like a footy team. And then there was also our team and Hume's team all hanging around that area.
And we were hanging around with the Hume boys, obviously, yeah.
And so you can imagine how many people there are now involved in this.
This isn't the funny part of the story. We myself, Loza, the other Nick, a couple of other people, we weren't out. We were at the hotel.
Yeah.
So we only found out about it as people are coming back in dribs and drabs and a lot of torn shirts and blood and things like
it was full on. Man, boys, broken nose, broken jaw. One of the boys didn't play for the rest of the year or pretty much.
He missed the first 8 weeks with a broken jaw.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Mate,
it's crazy. So,
massive.
Jerome, you want to hear the last part?
Yeah, go on.
Loz is not a happy camper.
As he would, yeah, I assume so.
So we're packing up to leave the hotel Sunday morning, and he says to me, he goes, Kots, get all the players, I want them all here in the car park, we're having a chat before we go home. I said, all right, mate, no worries. I go, boys, hurry up. The gaffer's not happy. He's fuming. Get in the car park as quick as possible. And Loz is about, righto, boys, he's about to rip into him. And when I say rip into him, I mean, as he's about to open his mouth, a cop car has come into the car park, goes, all right, boys, I'll talk to you in Melbourne. Do the boot.
Off, boys, he basically goes, we were supposed to train that morning as well.
We were supposed to train, yeah.
Just
crazy story. But
how funny is this, right? Then when after I'd signed at Victory, we played Hume in a friendly match pre-season, and one of the Hume boys come up to me after the end of the game, he goes, fancy seeing you here or something, a lot has changed since Lorne.
Yeah, but it was you know what, as a club, we were sort of famous for that sort of stuff. It was one in all in, you know. And
well, look, I got to say, right, and I was speaking to, I won't say which club, but he was talking about their juniors, how a lot of academies and stuff, people are for themselves because they're just trying to take that next step. And I'd assume somewhat in the NPL, especially for the players that are trying to play higher or overseas, would be in it for themselves. To have that team camaraderie and all, you know, one in all in mentality, that must have helped on the pitch immensely.
over the years, no doubt about it, I'm a firm believer that if you've got a good dressing room, and I don't care what level you're playing at, whether you're playing A-League, overseas, under 16s, State 5, it doesn't matter. I think if you've got a good dressing room, what you might lack in talent, you will make up for in hard, because I think you'll find, and you know, players will attest to it, when they're down, they want to help their mate.
Of course. Yeah.
So I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, we definitely had
Definitely had
and
it.
you know what? It was a young team, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was a very young team.
Yeah, it was a young team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, 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 I think, maybe, oh no, he retired. I was going to say Paul Savio might have been, but he retired.
Would have been Chipper. Chipper was the oldest.
No,
He
Chipper was only like 22. Chipper's only, yeah,
He would have been 24 or something like that. Yeah.
We weren't, no, you're right, Rash.
young,
We weren't an old team at all. We were quite young. Most of the boys were around about that same age, which helps. Everyone's on the same wavelength, that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah. So besides, that's brilliant, honestly, coming in and doing that and that story as well. Were there any other things around the club that really needed your attention, whether it be something to do with the venue, something to do with, I don't know, other dramas? Like usually when presidents step in, they're in there to fix not only what's going on the pitch.
There's always something going on.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate. We had 35 junior teams at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, which we were probably the best run junior club in Victoria at the time.
Yep.
So just to give you a bit of background, that year, seniors won a league, our under-21s won a league, our under-18s, we had 3 teams, 2 of them won a league, 1 finished second, Our under 16s won the league, our under 15s won the league, multiple teams. So that was incredible because we had so much going on that I didn't have to worry about. We had a great junior committee, which was run by John Gian, who became president after me. George Papadopoulos, another one. Victor Pace. There was a really lot of good people that took care of the juniors. I didn't have to worry about that much. Yeah. So my area back then was more to concentrate on what was happening with the senior group and the senior side of the club, making sure money was coming in, paying bills, whatever it may be, sponsorship, all that sort of stuff. So.
Well, that's a good segue, I guess. Let's. Should we touch on sponsorship first or wages? I think we're here with the sponsors.
Yeah, let's do sponsors. Yeah.
Sponsors. Now, I don't know much about what goes on with the sponsorships and stuff, but obviously your big NPL clubs can't run without sponsors, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How much, what do they cover? Is there a specific, sector of the club that you think, right, all the sponsorship money goes towards that, or is it spread out? How does it work?
Well, basically, I'm probably not the right person to ask at this given time because I haven't been involved in the committee for 4 or 5 years. But what I do know is that the money that comes into the club is not just spent on senior wages.
Okay.
There's other avenues to, for instance, the junior money, nothing to do with the seniors at all.
Right.
Okay. I think the boys are very conscious of that.
Yep.
So most of the sponsorship money that comes in will cover the senior wages plus functions, etc. But what we try to do, and from what I've seen, we've done a lot of business network luncheons or dinners where we get our sponsors in, gives them the opportunity to meet each other. We try to give a little bit back because I think in the past, probably a lot of naivety and a lot of people just want to take, but they didn't know how to give back. The current board, they know how to give back. So we've got a really core group of very loyal sponsors that have been with the club for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
And I have to mention them because, they're the lifeblood.
Yeah, of course.
Guys like Bell Collision, AUW, Limitless Recycling, System OIT, Ray White, and there's some that I'm going to forget, but I'm really sorry if I do. But these guys have been with the club for quite a long time. So knowing that you've got that financial commitment as a board will allow them for planning, like in this room, what we're seeing now.
Of course, yeah.
Investing into this gymnasium, a strength and conditioning program, from under 12s all the way up to the seniors.
From under 12s up?
Under 12s up, yeah. So these are all things that this club makes sure that the money just doesn't go into paying players' wages.
Yep.
It's spread throughout the whole club. Invest in facilities. I'm a firm believer, you invest in your facilities, people are going to say, this is attractive.
Of course.
This is good.
What did I say when I rocked up here?
Massive, yeah.
I was like, this looks proper. And I know the stadium, I like the old school look of it, but then even coming inside and seeing the new part of it, with the gym and everything.
And we're still going. This is just tip of the iceberg stuff. So
again, I've got no idea about it. So if I'm a sponsor and I want to sponsor Northcote, what am I getting out of it?
What are you getting out of it?
How do I...
Besides the exposure you're talking about?
Yeah, so talk to me about
how do you create the exposure?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of our work is also in the social media department as well.
Yep.
We try to give exposure through those channels. We stream a lot of our games. So, we obviously, besides all the signage that you see, but like I said before, it's also about the networking side of it, making sure, for instance, if we can utilise one of our sponsors for something, we'll use them, not another company.
Of course.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about, giving a little bit back rather than just take.
In terms of the community of this area, what other clubs around this area sort of competing?
From NPL perspective or just in general?
Bigger clubs, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got Heidelberg, which is only a few kilometres down the road. Preston, obviously in the same council as us. They're in the same league as us as well. But then you've got, Bulleen, which isn't too far away. Moreland City, just down the road. Brunswick City, just down the road. And then you've got Brunswick Juventus, Pascoval, Hume, all within a similar 10K radius, so it's not far. But that for me is a beautiful thing. It shows the beauty of football and participation. It's fantastic.
So I guess you touched on...
This is Rash. He's going to his notes.
It's going to be a good one.
This could be a good
when
one.
He does that, they're good.
Okay. I'm not scrolling on Instagram. This is serious business. Right. One of the main things that people always ask me now, because I know Rash or Gavin, or ask them in general, is NPL players make so much good money, or how do they make so much money, or, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know what? I'll go try ask someone who's got a better understanding than me, and then I'll come back to you with an answer. That's why I'm here with you, Kotsy.
Yeah.
So I've got a few questions.
Yep.
And we'll try to go in order.
Yep.
What is the club's approach, an NPL club's approach, to signing a player? Like, who identifies the talent? Who contacts them? How do you contact them? What's the route that you usually went through when you were president?
Oh, when I was supposed to leave it up to the coach.
So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. We'd receive resumes via email all the time.
Okay.
Whether they were from interstate or overseas. I actually, the one and only time I think that I've ever signed a player blind was when we signed Michael Eager, right, who came from Queensland, basically just sent me an email saying, I'm moving to Melbourne, looking to play at the highest level I can. You know, I play in this position. So I said to him, I go, no worries, mate, what sort of money are you looking at? I'm not really about money. I made him an offer, and he agreed. So
This is through email.
through email. And
What a signing he was, by the way, if you don't know who that might.
So you must have known what was going on.
no, I had a mate in Queensland and I asked about him, and he goes, he's a gun, right? So I'm sort of like doing something that I would never do, right? But once he agreed on terms, I said to Loz, I go, Loz.
Hold on, so you've lowballed him and he's agreed on it?
No, he said he's not interested in money. So I made him an offer, taking into consideration that he's an interstate boy.
Yeah.
And I just basically gave him what I was giving the rest of the players.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't above, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I said to Loz, I go, listen, Loz, I go, this kid from Queensland's agreed on terms. I go, I've signed him. He goes, what's he like? I go, I don't know. I go, have a look at his resume. He goes, he looks all right. First training session, we're training at the back here. You weren't here yet.
Yeah.
And I'm in the office doing some paperwork, and Loz comes and goes, what the fuck have you just fucking signed? This guy, he's fucking shit. Just fucking get rid of him. I go, Loz, take it easy. It's the first training session. One of the best and fairest.
So good, man.
There you go, Loz.
Class, man.
So from your perspective as a president.
No, but basically, in a nutshell, a lot of it is down to the coaches.
Yep.
Football operations, his job is to basically agree on terms.
Yep.
And I think really, I mean, everything has to be done within the confines of the club budget.
Yeah, of course.
There's no point signing a player and then 6 weeks later you can't pay him.
Yep.
You know, we've always been consistent. What we can afford, we'll give you, and the aim is to make sure you get paid every week, every fortnight, every month, whatever the agreement is.
Well, that's such a good point, because so many clubs overseas, you hear documentaries, you see documentaries about it, you see articles where they go and spend way too much, and then they
It happens here, mate.
Oh, of course.
It happens here.
I know clubs that it's happened to here. And they fold, or players get pissed off, they're not getting paid, and then I must commend that if that's how things are done here, then
look,
that's brilliant.
It's an approach that has to be realistic, because the minute that you don't have your players paid, you're going to lose them.
Of course.
You're going to lose them mentally for the rest of and I was so fortunate. When I was president, I hadn't paid the players for the last 6 weeks. Ran out of money.
Really?
Ran out of money because the major sponsor was not the major sponsor, right? So we got stooged on a deal there, and I'll take responsibility for it because I was president, obviously. But to the boys' credit, they stuck together and they won us the league. And I got nothing but respect and commendation for them, because they knew they were onto something special at that time. So
So they put money on the back burner, basically.
Basically, but they all got it in the end, or they took a small pay cut to get it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they did get it, which is the most important thing. And, you know, they showed their commitment to the club. But obviously, in the last, say, 10, 12 years, that hasn't been an issue. Everyone's been paid, and that's the way it should be. Once you make an agreement, you've got to stick to it.
So, say, for instance, I'm Loza, and I identify a player that I really want to sign.
Are you talking about when I was president here?
Yeah, when you were president.
Yeah.
So he contacts them. Mm-hmm. He'll have a meeting with them, whether it be at a cafe or here or wherever. And then do they have to come to you to get the final okay?
We had an interesting way of doing it. I would basically tell Loza, this is what we can afford.
Okay.
If he's happy to come for that sort of money, get him down.
Did you?
I never wanted to stand in his way as to which players he wanted to bring in.
Did you ever really consider pushing the boundaries for one particular player? that you just thought, fuck, he could do something for us here? Or is it complete, no, this is our budget, that's it?
I was very stringent with the way I did things.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And I was a tight ass for the sake of the club.
Yeah.
An example is one of our strikers, I won't mention his name, but Milosh, how are you? He wanted a goal bonus. And I said to him, we're paying you money to score goals. I go, you're not getting a goal bonus. Right? So at the end of and he finished top scorer in the league. So, at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of I would rather, if I was still in charge today, I would rather give a promotion bonus than a goal bonus or a clean sheet bonus or anything like that. But that's just me. That's my own personal view.
All right. Great point you've made, and it's a good segue. What are some of the basic things that players or clubs will implement in contracts that are add-ons to the actual wage? Like, because you know how some clubs do accommodation, cars.
I'm the wrong person to ask because I haven't done any of that in the last 7, 8, 9 years.
Okay.
So, but I do know that, all those things that you just mentioned are probably part of it.
Yep.
Sometimes there's a sign-on bonus or what do you call it? When you're shifting.
Like a movement fee.
Yeah, something like that to help you get set up. Relocation fee, something like that. So, but that's all more Jim Macro, our football officer, takes care of that. I don't get involved much in it. So,
Would you have any idea what kind of wages are floating around these days? I wouldn't even know.
Rash,
Not here.
you're playing in the wrong era.
Me?
Yeah, you played in the wrong era.
Really?
Mate. Yeah.
Well, let's get to that. I've done research.
I'm talking about if you're still playing at NPL, VPL level, not A-League level.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
We sort of came to the conclusion that, and this is the most ballpark number ever for NPL 1, that if you averaged it out, it would be 800 a week. Does that sound right?
It could be a little bit more.
I think I'd say more, no?
Yeah, I reckon
NPL1.
NPL 1, you're probably looking at about 900 to 1,000. Look, just on that, I don't blame the players.
Yep.
I blame the clubs.
Let's just get straight into it. One of the things that Kotsy spoke about was we've already introed you on the last pod, so
I'm just laughing at him. He looks like he's seen better days. Man.
Are you okay? Cool.
A lot of tablets.
Fucking hell, bro.
Thanks for coming in, Gav.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
So, first thing I wanted to speak about quickly was we spoke with Peter about how do A-League clubs sign players from NPL clubs. It happened with Rash. Rash was at Northcote. Victory approached Northcote, sent some scouts down. They were happy with what they saw. And then Rashid Mahazi ended up signing for Melbourne Victory. The crazy thing to me was that the clubs don't get a transfer fee because the players aren't on professional contracts. So that's what really blew my mind. Like, most NPL players aren't on professional contracts, to my knowledge, and A-League clubs can just basically go and pluck whoever they want from all the NPL clubs around the country. Again, to my understanding, and Rash, you can sort of speak on this, the only fee that's paid is like a training compensation fee.
You know what? And I'm actually just looking at it right now. It's on the FFA website.
Okay.
Also, Rush, did you go for trial?
Yeah, I went for trial. So my situation, I'll talk about my situation, which is what we spoke about with Peter, was I was at Northcote. I don't believe I was on a professional contract. No, I wasn't. And yeah, Victory signed me. I believe Peter said that they gave Northcote about $5,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 4, I think.
And that's why it took me so long to actually sign. So I trialled for 1 week, didn't get any here back. Trialled at Melbourne Heart at the time, the second week. Melbourne Heart wanted to sign me straight away. When Victory heard that Melbourne Heart wanted to sign me, Victory called me back for a second trial, which is now week 3. So I went back to Victory, and then Victory offered me a contract. So that's in my 3rd week. But I don't think I actually signed for probably 6-7 weeks late after that. and I was constantly going up to the football department and going, when am I signing? What's going on? What's going on? And I was messaging people at Independiente. I was scared that I wasn't going to get the deal
How crazy is
because of that.
Because also, I feel there's a lot of NPL players that go on trial to A-League teams. Myself, I've done this before in the past, and then you're there, they're like shown interest to you, and you're just training, and you don't really know what's to go towards the end.
No, but they had offered me.
I know.
So they had offered me. At week 3, they said, oh, we want to sign you. But they didn't know that Independiente were going to ask for this.
Yeah.
So I don't know clubs like junior clubs. I suppose Northcote was essentially a junior club for me because I wasn't on a professional contract. So I remember Kotsi saying basically that they've put into the A-League probably 5 or 6 players, and each time they're 3 to 5 grand each for each player.
For
so
a training compensation fee.
Yeah, barely anything.
So Independiente ended up getting 20-30 from you?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't?
I'd like to ask Melbourne Victory or Paul Trimboli what actually happened there. Did they end up getting the money, or did they stop asking, or I don't know what happened. But eventually Victory said, okay, today's the day that you're going to sign.
Who was keeping track of you at Independiente? Do you know?
I don't think anyone was necessarily keeping track of me, but it was that Victory, I'm assuming it's legally had to notify the club.
Oh,
or something like that, you know?
Yep. So that's pretty, I understand why, because, you know, it's all contracts and business, but it is pretty astounding that all they got to do is, you know, pay a couple grand and they can just go get the player, and that no player is ever going to say no to playing for an A-League club coming from NPL unless there's some crazy situation where they might get more in the NPL, which I doubt. You can't share with us how much your first contract was, can you?
My first contract was 60 grand.
Flat rate.
I believe so. I think it was 60 grand my first year.
Were you over the moon with that, or how'd you feel?
Honestly wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the money. That sounds like a really cliche answer, but for me it was just like, I want to be a professional footballer. I always wanted. For me, you know, a lot of kids say, "Oh, my dream's to play Socceroos, to play for my national team." My dream was to become a professional footballer.
Yeah.
So it wasn't to play national team. It wasn't to play. I liked the idea of playing in the Olympics. I remember for some reason I had that in my head, but my thing was I want to play pro. So that was my dream, and so for me it was like, okay, 60 grand. I didn't even know what 60 grand was. I didn't know what that meant. I don't think at that time I had really even had a salary.
You were 19?
I had, it's 20, yeah.
20.
And I'd spent most of my time, you know, my juniors in Argentina, and my expenses were being paid by different ways, but not really by my family. So it wasn't really paid contract, but my expenses were being covered.
Did Kotsi say something about Trafiro brothers? Did they get an extra fee for them or something? I can't remember.
He didn't say an extra fee, but something similar probably to what they got for me. I think he said that all of them were pretty similar, because Paul Retro come out of there, Wade Decker, the Trafiro brothers, obviously myself. He said a couple of others, didn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember who he said. But that it still does baffle me that not even like a smaller transfer fee is given. I understand that it's the contracts and that's the business, but like I would have thought maybe like, you know, 50, 60.
Yeah, well.
Something.
Well, do you want me to read it? I'll read it to you. Tell you what it's saying.
Oh, yeah.
So, if the category of the last prior club player was registered as amateur with is a class C, so when you get your first professional contract, Gav, you awake, mate? You all right over there? So if you go from C to an A category club, it's $5,000. A B to a B is $6,000. Amount of domestic training compensation pay. So this is domestically, so within Australia. B to A is $10,000. A to A is $10,000.
That's if you're not a pro.
Yeah, so if you're going from an amateur club to your first professional contract,
Yep.
the training compensation, this is on the Football Australia website, from going from C to a category A is $5,000. So if you're amateur at a C, so like a Northcote, going to an A, so I'm assuming A is more like Europe or something like that.
Yep.
It's $5,000. Oh, actually, hold on. The categories are here. Sorry, guys. So category A.1 is A-League clubs. Category A.2 is A-League clubs in their National Youth League, National Premier League capacity. Category B is clubs other than A-League clubs who are licensed and participating in the National State Premier Leagues. Category C is all other clubs. So
like a B would be like South Melbourne.
Yep. So that's what it's saying here. So really what they should have been compensated for me is B to A1, which should be $10,000. This is
Pay up, Victory.
I don't know if this is May. This is written in 2019 May.
That's pretty recent.
So wow, when I signed mine, we're talking
2014, 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, 10. Oh, yeah, we're talking a long time ago. 12 years ago.
Maybe it's gone up.
It's potentially gone up.
And maybe it's gone down or up because of COVID. I don't know.
But then, so then you've got... So it doesn't have anything for international, though, which would be interesting.
Well, how many NPL players go straight to international? Not many.
Yeah, that's...
Unless they did like the Europe trips.
Yeah,
clubs.
That's true. But I wonder more so, like, if... For example, there's a lot of players that have done their juniors in Europe or bigger clubs in the world, and then they sign their first professional contract in the A-League. So I wonder what that compensation should be. And it's probably much higher, like 20 grand, 30 grand.
I think I know a guy.
They were asking for.
I think I know a guy that might have done that, so I can probably ask him. But that pretty much covers it. So if you guys were wondering out there what the A-League clubs pay, it's nothing. It's absolutely not. It's poo change. But I guess, if they were professional, it might have been a different story. And I'm sure there has been a professional NPL player that's gone to an A-League club, surely.
Well, I guess it's just the risk they take from taking from a smaller league. That's why it's probably that low.
That's true. That's a good point. Because if it's very high, then probably you would get less A-League clubs taking a risk on a player.
For example, right?
Right?
When Carter was in Portugal playing third tier, Benfica signed him, and they had to pay $200,000 to the third tier club.
Yeah,
right?
But the third tier club was a pro club.
Yes, but $200,000 to Benfica is probably nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah. Whereas if you're signing Enzo Fernandez from Benfica to go to Chelsea, what was the transfer fee?
105.
There you go, million.
Yeah,
A to A.
Yeah. I know where Gav's coming from, but like, I wonder what it would have been if this Anthony Carter wasn't on a pro contract. I think that's the deal breaker.
What?
It's whether they're on a pro contract or not.
Why?
Because if they're on a pro contract, then they're considered a pro footballer, so I think their value is going to be higher. But if they're a semi-pro and amateur...
It would be on the contract.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like if you think about it practically, if we're trying to encourage A-League clubs to look outside of recycling other A-League players and giving young players an opportunity, and then you get a 16-year-old that's starting for Port Melbourne, and Victory look at him and go, oh, he's good, but they've got to pay $200K, or they've got to pay $50K to Port Melbourne.
Yeah, they won't.
They'll probably just
that's
go,
what
I'll
happens
just get
with a
another
lot of
player.
players. The youngsters, they put them on big buyout clauses, and then until a real club comes for them and buys them out, then that's when they go.
Yeah, but I wonder, like, is 50K a lot for the A-League clubs? If
Most of the A-League clubs are running at
That's
a
a
loss.
1 year.
I'm aware. Deal. I'm very aware. But if they're signing someone who's a wonder kid...
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the risk.
That's what he's saying.
He hasn't proven himself in that league yet. He's proven himself in a league that's lower, which is understandable. But obviously, he's going into a new league that's a lot higher. So
it's kind of like, okay, let's say they're going to sign me. When they sign me, I'm not a wonder kid. It's just someone that's doing pretty well in the NPL and is young.
Damn, you want a wonder
okay,
kid?
give him an opportunity. But if they got to pay $50K to Northcote, probably they're not going to pay it.
You were a wonder
know what I
kid,
mean?
sort of.
Gav was a wonder kid.
Yeah, I think
Still is.
Well, an Australian version. You were an Australian wonder kid.
He still is a wonder kid.
Just without any knees.
You're saying he's a man child? No, he was a wonder kid.
He's been out quite a bit recently.
Where?
Oh,
He's a wonder kid on the dance floor there.
oh yeah. This guy puts on a leather jacket and goes crazy, and it's Dimmy that's filming it all. You have your own videographer, like, hey Dimmy, go film me picking
Like
up these
Honda.
girls. Yeah, like Honda.
Nah, but he was a wonder kid, even at River, bro. He was the talk of the town there, bro.
Yeah, I got best player in the youth under 18s.
Really?
Damn,
Best
what
and
happened?
fairest.
Wow, bro. That knee buckled.
Both of those knees.
Well, that's the thing. When I got back, I was at City, sort of same thing as Rash, and it was like, all right, they're saying they want me, not signing, and then I done my knee at Melbourne City. So same sort of situation. And then coming back after my time in Portugal, I was at Western United for 6 weeks under Mark Rudin, and same situation.
He just got sacked.
I'm training. And it was like, yeah, stay on. Bang. So I think that's probably one thing from my side as NPL footballers. And I also disagree with you, Jerome, in terms of players wanting to go from NPL to A-League. There's a lot of boys that don't.
I know why. I think I know why. I
don't believe this.
But I personally, I know why, I think. I know why.
He said why so many... Say why, bro!
Do you want to know why?
What?
Do you know what I'm doing? See, you guys, this is the art of podcasting that I have to teach you. It's called stalling. So I'm making up why. Do you get me? So why I'm saying why 1,000 times is because I'm making up why. Nor knows. I'm telling you, this is a pro trick that I've just pulled the curtain back on. I think it has something to do with they can still make good money and also have a job in the NPL, so they might even make more than they could in the A-League.
Well, that's the thing. Rash said 60K, right?
Yeah.
If you're a painter with your old man,
Yeah.
you know,
50K,
you're gonna get
60K. Yeah.
and then you're going to play NPL,
Yeah.
Northcote.
Another 40. Yeah.
Well, in today's age, yes. But I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 15 to 30, depending on the player you are.
Hold on. So basically what you've claimed is that there is players that have had A-League
100%.
opportunities that have declined to stay in the NPL.
Yeah.
Like you personally
Confirmed.
know them.
Confirmed.
Or stories.
Confirmed.
I don't think this is true, bro. I call bullshit on it.
Okay.
I call bullshit on
Bullshit.
this.
Let's
I
see.
call bullshit on it. I
Put it
reckon
in
it's
the
players
comments.
that... Huh?
We'll see in the comments.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll see if there's a real story. Because I've heard of stories before of certain people saying, I turned down this contract because I was earning more money doing this and playing NPL and blah, blah, blah. And then later, another opportunity comes up and they take it. And then they're in the A-League and I'm like,
Can I just ask?
hold on.
Can I just ask why? Why?
What is wrong with this guy today?
I'm pissing you off. Why would someone want to turn that down? I just don't get it. Because, for instance, right, say, why would I want to go on an A-League contract? Like, I'm making good money being working in construction with my uncle, and you know I get good money from NPL. But if you go and have a decent first season, your wage is going to go up
Exactly.
in the NPL,
Yeah.
and then it's a full-time job. You're a full-time professional. So basically, what you're saying to me is, Gav, is they don't have dreams of playing at a pro level. Is that what you're saying? Average A-League salary? Oh, it's crazy to say average because it can vary from like a couple mil to like 60 grand.
120, 130.
Yeah, I'd
is
say.
maybe average if you want to give it a real rough.
You're not getting that
average.
first season though.
But okay, look, the reason I call bullshit on it is this, right? If we think of it purely as a financial decision, exactly what Jerome's saying, if we go, okay, the potential to make more money in football now than what I'm currently doing is way higher. I just have to be a little bit patient, maybe 2 or 3 years. Go do well in the A-League, 2 years, I'll go to Korea, Japan, Vietnam, whatever, India, whatever, and start making big money and being a footballer, enjoying myself. So as a financial decision, it doesn't make sense. Unless you've got like some, I don't know, like massive tech company, or you've like some entrepreneur, you're already killing it financially.
Yeah.
There's not many people in the NPL that would be able to say that, right? So as a financial decision, it doesn't make sense. The second thing that we're leaving out is the most important thing with footballers is their ego. And every footballer, whether you're A-League, NPL, State League, Junior, has a massive ego, and everyone wants to be a professional footballer.
Do you think it comes down to maybe the fact that in the NPL you can get away with more in terms of lifestyle?
Okay, so I had this conversation with a footballer. Exactly what you just said. And I think the reason is in the NPL, you can kind of get away with doing anything you want and still be a semi-pro. Whereas I don't think you could in the
But are you talking about people that have come from another country and played already at a decent level and been kind of pros, and now they're getting good money and they just want to chill? Or are you talking about someone that is an Australian person that has never played pro in their life and they're saying, nah, I prefer to just mess around and party? I don't believe it, bro. I don't believe
Hold
it.
on,
I'm in the league.
I'm
in the league. I'm just telling you.
Hold on, Gav.
From
Hold
a
on.
player that's in the
Hold
league.
on. You know what he's saying, though, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So, like, you know, I don't want to put names out there, but your Bernardas. He's not talking about your Bernardas and all that.
I know.
He's talking about Aussies.
I'm talking about pure Aussies too.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I just
call
think
bullshit on it, but we'll
I
see.
think I'm more lean. I'm like 70 to 80% on the you're stupid for not taking an A-League contract. But then if some of them are just party animals, they like their illicit substances, the blah, 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 then maybe they're just, I don't know. But me personally, being a top level elite athlete like myself, I would jump at it. Because like Rash said, it's not just about what you can make in the A-League. If you have a decent, I mean like you're dropping a 6 out of 10 every week in the A-League, you might be able to get a move to an Asian country where you're tripling your money. And then who knows what comes from that? Who knows if you get into sponsorships or whatever. But I would be interested to talk to an NPL player out there who has turned down an A-League contract. No cappers. We need people that are telling the truth.
Or even just players that would or wouldn't want to play A-League.
But I think I would prefer someone who's actually turned it down. They're happy to say publicly they've turned it down. And I would like to ask why, so then Rash can bury them.
Yeah, and it's not me saying what they should do. It's what I'm saying. I don't believe they would do that.
Yeah,
it's not me
enough.
saying they should.
Yeah.
Or they should.
You don't know their life.
It's or right or wrong. I'm just saying I don't think anyone would.
And what about this, Rash? What about you getting, like what you had at Victory, getting offered, but first having to trial?
Depends what age you are, I think.
Because a lot of players in the NPL have amazing seasons.
Yeah.
And clubs aren't offering them contracts straight away and wanting to see them trial.
Okay, that starts to be a little bit different.
Because I feel like, as a player, if you've just won the league and you're a top goal scorer, like you've scored 20 goals in the NPL, why are you going on trial?
I can see how ego starts to... There would be some players that would have such a big ego that would go, oh, I'm too good to try, I'm not going to go trial. I can see how that would happen.
Also,
that's different.
You know, as a player, trialing is different to game day. You could be a terrible training player, and they'll be like, you can't even control the ball. But then on game day, it turns up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Wait, you would never turn down an A-League contract? No way.
Well, I've been on 2 trials.
No, but I'm asking you directly.
Oh, not now. If I got offered tomorrow, I'd probably, I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
But you got a tattoo that says no dream is too big or some shit.
Yeah, when I was younger.
Fuck.
You're lying, bro.
Now?
Gav?
If Victory came today and said,
If it was,
we're
if
going
it
to put
was
you
Melbourne,
on base level 60
if
grand.
it was Melbourne
you'd take it.
base, if it was Melbourne base, yes. If it was to move overseas, probably not.
Interstate.
Sorry,
Interstate.
not overseas.
Yeah, yeah.
Interstate.
Well, yeah, Wellington.
Nah, no way.
You wouldn't move to Wellington.
You wouldn't go to the
Not
I
now.
don't believe you, bro.
Not now. I wouldn't. No way.
I don't believe you.
Not with the academy and everything else.
Fuck
if it was
them
Melbourn,
kids. Sorry.
if it was Melbourne, if it was Melbourne, I'd do it 100%. It would be actually my dream, because I'd be able to train in the morning, coach the kids in the afternoon, do whatever I want.
Bro, don't
you
worry about
can't
the
start-
academy. I'll do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Just
you-
go take an A-League contract.
No, you probably are going to have to start not doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then if it was
he's not like, you know.
interstate, no, not now, not now. 29, man, in January.
Like we said, you could go have one good season, go to India on a mill.
Yep. Go to Sri Lanka, become fucking captain.
Whereas if it was a few years ago, yes. But that's why I'm asking you this, is because this has happened to me in the past. I got 2 offers, went on trial, wasted my time. You know,
Well, is it a
after
waste
having-
of time, or is it if you don't do it, you never know? Imagine if you said no, but then really you would have ended up getting it. Then you would have been.
Of course.
Well, that's the thing. I went on trials as well after my season at
Well, how many players do
Moreland.
we know that went on trial?
Tons.
Well, that's what I
Heaps,
mean.
but that's what
oh,
I'm saying.
mate, what a story I have about my trial at Wanderers. Oh, my God.
You
But
know?
that's for Patreon. That is for Patreon.
We keep saying
But then
Patreon,
also-
Patreon. We got to fucking do this shit.
Also, like when I was at City, and it was during the COVID period, I'd got an email from Perth Glory to go,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get there because of the borders. They signed Daniel Sturridge, and how many games did Daniel Sturridge play for? And that's where my anger comes from. Going,
So you
I'm
hate
an
Daniel
Aussie.
Sturridge?
I'm an Aussie, wanting
Yeah.
to play in the A-League.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that, and then because of COVID, of course, but then they bring in a retired player over myself that was supposed to go on trial in Perth to do nothing.
Well,
No, but see, you still would have gone to Perth.
the old Gav would have
That's
jumped
what,
into
2 years ago.
Mondeo
Yeah,
and
this
drove
is
all the way to Perth
100%.
on an 80k tyre.
And then at Western, at Western they signed Sanchez, I think it was at the time. He was like 35 and played.
Who's Sanchez?
Yeah,
bro?
exactly. Some Spanish guy.
Oh, as long as he's
Just
if
came
he's
down.
Spanish, better sign him.
Yeah, if they're
If
Latino.
he's Spanish or Brazilian or just has any name that ends in Z, sign him.
There was a few
Well,
for Victory.
Sanchez, there you go.
There was a few for Victory that were a part of that conglomerate, and they were absolutely horrible. So I don't know how much credence is that word, whatever. How much stock you should put into just because they're from a sexy footballing country. Because I know a lot of players that have come to the A-League from sexy countries that were not sexy.
Well, even last year, right?
You're ugly.
Even last year at Avondale, we broke all the records. Most points, most goals. How many players went to the A-League? Not one. You know who went? Our 2 physios. And I'm not talking shit. That's true.
They hated you.
That's true. Not one player. Our 2 physios went. They
And
both
now
went
they're
to,
playing centre forward and number 10 for MacArthur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Your
in jail.
physios are playing.
Yeah, they're in jail now doing the physio.
They're in jail now doing the physio, he said.
They got done gambling.
Well, we're never doing anything with MacArthur. We like you, MacArthur.
Oh,
You know what happened, Nor, right? Okay, cool.
Oh, God.
I think, should we touch on that now, or should we wait
Let's
for...
talk about gambling.
Okay, let's talk about gambling. Right, let me intro this. Let me get into my bag. This is my favourite opener. Let's talk about match fixing in football. First thing. Currently, or recently, I should say, MacArthur has been embroiled in an international match-fixing scandal. To my knowledge, Ulysses Davila, the ringleader, was paying younger players at the club somewhere around $10,000 to receive yellow cards in a match on purpose. Allegedly. Right? I'm just saying what the news is saying.
Yep.
Right? It's public knowledge. So, apparently that has ties to a South American or Central American match-fixing ring or a criminal organization, and they were using the MacArthur players to get their money, Davila in particular, and then the two younger players, which were Bacchus and Lewis. Again, I'm not, the judge and the juror here, but that's just what's been alleged. I did feel the SWAT and riot team going to their houses was a bit overboard. It's match fixing. They didn't kill anyone. So I found that a bit weird. There's like a photo of Davila in his undies getting pushed up against the wall by a SWAT team, which I found to be quite weird and a bit over the top. I just think that it is very odd to be risking it for that, to risk your whole career for that amount of money, especially someone like Davila, who's a marquee player and probably on very good money. Not too sure about the younger boys, what they're on. But in saying that, someone made a good point to me that you just never know what's happening on the other side of the world. So is he being coerced into it? Is he being forced into it? Does it have to do with, we see it all the time. It happened with Luis Diaz from Liverpool, his family getting taken hostage. A lot of African players have dealt with situations where, family members have come out, wanted money and said they were going to reveal secrets or whatever. Could it be something like that? We don't know, right? But if we're just going off the fact that he wanted more money, then it's a silly decision, obviously. And 3 of them players won't ever play again. Again, I was speaking to someone and I said, what's the difference between Ivan Toney and Sandro Tonali, who were the big Premier League players who got done for match fixing, and this? And
they weren't match fixing.
They weren't match fixing.
They were gambling.
Sorry. They were gambling on themselves, right? Which is completely different because that's not technically, it's not a criminal offence. It's just an offence against the league's rules.
Yeah.
Which
they were trying to win also.
They were trying to win, which baffles you. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Why would you not be allowed to gamble on your team if you're trying to win? Maybe it's because then you can maybe tell some players in the other team to lose or something like that.
Does that happen in
know
boxing? You can bet on yourself in boxing?
I'm not too sure. But Rash, that's why.
I think you
Yeah,
can.
right. Because if you know them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
That's probably why. Because why would you just say, "Oh, we're allowing you to bet unless," no, just no footballers bet. That's it. You make enough money. You don't need a bet. Again, I've been told, and I think it's public knowledge that there are a team of investigators and your software and everything that red flags will come up. If you're doing the same bet, lump sums, large amounts of money, it's getting flagged in the system. That's just what it is. And then they're going to do the maths. They're going to put things together. Who's betting on who's betting to do what. I've even heard of situations where, like, for instance, say you're a player, right? And then your sister's boyfriend's cousin opens an account. Wouldn't put it past them to be like, ooh, connection to Rash there. Bit of an odd one. Again, that's far-fetched. That's very far-fetched.
Yeah, that would be weird because I feel like so many people sports bet.
100% they do. They do. But if the connection is closer, that's what I probably shouldn't have gone that far. But if it's closer, if it's like maybe a brother-in-law or, a stepfather or whatever, alarm bells are going to go off. They're going to be like, what's going on here? So it is weird because, you just never know who's watching. You never know who's going to be sort of on the cautious side of things. You've got to be on the cautious side of things because it's extremely risky. And now I think they've just ruined their whole careers. That's it.
Yep. And now everyone starts dragging Australian football down that drain too, but I would like to turn the tables slightly differently, away from Australian football and betting, something that I noticed this morning. Okay. Have you guys watched the TAB ad that says sport is our sport? Have you seen that ad?
Sport is our sport.
Yeah. And it starts off, the news say, our national sport, cricket.
Yeah.
And then the people in the pub is like, oh, that's not our national sport. Footy's
It's
our
what footy?
Oh,
Yeah.
what type of footy are you talking about? Have you noticed what happens when soccer comes on?
Bro, I tweeted about this
Did ya?
a while ago, right? So, do you want to explain?
Bro, I saw it this morning and it did my head in so
Yeah.
much, especially around this whole thing.
Yeah.
So, it's a girl. So, all the other sports, they just talk, it's kind of
In a pub.
in a pub, they talk, oh, basketball's the best. No, it goes to soccer and a girl's running and she goes, no, soccer's the best. And then everyone on the ground goes, oh, starts holding their leg and
Faking
pretending they're injured. While every other sport, they don't make any other jokes about any other sport,
Yeah.
but they make this joke about soccer.
Yeah.
So then I did a little bit of research into the TAB, I started finding these funny articles. Have you heard about this stuff?
No.
This is about that basically the CEO, Adam Rittenskild, came out and said, oh, there needs to be less betting in sports, but less ads around betting and gambling because it's not good for people. It's not good for kids to see this on when they're just trying to enjoy a sporting game and sporting event, right? So they said, as a company and sport betting and gambling in general come across the board, okay, we need to take ads out of sport a little bit. An error was made in round 1. Tabcorp admits to breaching its own advertising rules. Australian families should be able to watch live sport without being bombarded by gambling and advertising. Then Chief Executive of Tabcorp, Adam Rittenskild, said in March last year. And then in round 1, they placed all these ads around the ground that they then said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake.
Mistake my ass. It's not a mistake. Yeah, gambling's a weird one. Because it is,
It's an addiction.
It is an addiction, and I think there was some type of thing to not allow gambling sponsors on Premier League jerseys anymore. That was I believe that was a rule that came in, because a lot of Premier League clubs had gambling sponsors. But yeah, I what pisses me off more than anything is, sorry to the gambling addicts, is the ad. Just shitting on soccer.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Like that's really, it's like, of course you got, whether they did that, for interactive purposes to get people riled up or whatever, it's not that big of a deal, but it's annoying because it's like you can make jokes about every other sport. So I definitely see that.
Sorry, let me read this line now.
Yep, go for it.
Okay. All Victorian clubs have rejected, this is football, all Victorian clubs have rejected gambling sponsorship, with the most partnering with the Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation. However, GWS and the Brisbane Lions still hold sponsorship deals with Tabcorp, and the AFL still earns a portion of the money from every bet placed on the sport.
Oh, the mafia.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
I don't know how it works in the Prem or the A-League or whatever, but yeah, that doesn't sound right.
And then, hold on, this is a separate article. This was a month ago. The Commission acknowledges the resignation of Tabcorp's CEO following allegations of inappropriate comments made about a female regulatory official. So then that guy, the ex-CEO, something went on with some,
Oh, so he's going crazy out there.
some stuff. And then listen to this line. Oh, this is my last line, all right? And then we'll get off the topic.
He's gambling crazy.
The commission, this is Miss Thorne, the new CEO that stepped in. The Commission will continue to regulate as a fierce advocate in the public interest, ensuring integrity, safety, and fairness in the gambling industry.
Not.
I'll read that. I'll read that line again. The Commission will continue to regulate as a fierce advocate in the public interest, ensuring integrity, safety, and fairness in the gambling industry.
Can I just say though? It actually would be the stupidest job working at a gambling agency because, like, you have to blatantly go out and lie about how you care about people's mental well-being and all of that, when really you just want them to gamble their lives away because it pays your fucking bills. Like, it'd be the stupidest job. Like, it'd be like it's so stupid. It'd be like, I don't know. It'd be like, I can't. Yeah. They're bad for you. Yeah. Yeah. Like, cigarettes are not good for you, but we want you to buy 20 packets. It's fun. It could be fun after a night out. Don't do it, but buy 20 packets.
What do we think about, like, what's your moral standard?
On what?
Like, let's say, for example, a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Is it the drug dealer's responsibility if someone is a
junkie?
I say yes. They hold a responsibility.
Some.
If you're a gambling company, or a sports betting company, or a tobacco company, or alcohol,
wouldn't
company,
you just call them enablers?
Yeah.
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 I think that's. Well, I think it just depends on the situation. Like, for instance, if and I know nothing about any of this, but if you're a drug dealer and you're, shout out you, I guess. If you listen, thank you. Come on the but for instance, if you're like maybe making money off vulnerable people, maybe it's a bit different to then. Pardon? Yeah, pregnant women and all that type of stuff. Or like, are you selling to people that work on Wall Street or, finance bros who just want to get blasted out of their mind? So maybe that's how I sort of see it. See it. I don't even know, to be honest. That's not a world I've ever or will ever be involved in. So I'm not too sure. But even on the gambling side of things, it's like, it's just funny hearing them say that because it's like, you shut up. Yeah. Like, I know you have to follow rules and stuff, but shut up. Yeah. Like, it's almost like we know what you're doing. So just like let people, if they want to gamble, but.
Yeah.
But
I didn't have any anger towards TAB until I saw that soccer ad.
Yeah, it was weird, eh? It was weird as.
Next time, don't.
Next time, get us involved.
Soccer just ask us.
I promise you, it'll be a 2-second convo. I'll help you out. It's so easy. And unban my account. I've made no money off sports betting, and I barely do it. Like, everyone used to laugh at me. Just quickly, it's funny.
You'd be such a biased bettor, though.
That's
why you don't win money.
No. It's not that.
You're like Arsenal playing Hull. Yeah, all right. I'll go for Hull.
No. Fuck, these guys haven't watched Prem in years. Hull hasn't been in the Prem in years.
Exactly.
It's funny because all my mates were like, the cool wogs who would like, I'm going to put a multi on, bro. Hey, did you hear Jimmy and George won $2,000 last week off $5? And I'm there like, oh, that's mad. And they're like, yeah, bro, he cleaned up. Even though they're like probably $20,000 in debt. You're right. Yeah. So I'm like, I want to have a turn. Yeah. But the thing is, I've got no money. So I would put $10 bets on, right?
I'd put the 2 center.
Right? $10 bets on the stupidest, safest bets ever.
Yeah. And they'll go wrong.
And they still wouldn't come out. So I remember I used to be in the group chat with the Let 'Em Shoot boys, and we used to just show our multi-slips.
Yeah.
And, they'd put on whatever, 100 on... They'd put simple stuff like 100 on Arsenal to score 2 or more goals or whatever. This was mine. $10, 16 legs. The first one would be like over 10 throw-ins. That's going to happen. 1 yellow card. It's probably going to happen. Under 50 free kicks. Probably going to happen. Over 4 corners. It's probably going to happen. And I would still fuck it up and win no money. So even though my thing would come back like, oh, you could win $22.37, I still wouldn't win it. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not
just gradually, really slowly just lose your money.
Yeah, but like extremely slowly. like a dripping faucet. Like,
He's got to wait like 3 weeks to get the multi to be finished.
yeah, literally. Yeah. Like there's a game in Uzbekistan in League 5 in 3 weeks. I hope they don't get over 2 yellows because I'm doomed because my $10 is down the drain. So I'm the shittest better ever. But that leads us to, man, segue gods, what Kotzi was speaking about, which was the biggest match-fixing scandal in Australian football up until the MacArthur one.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
So, to my understanding, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, from what Kotzi told me and what other people have told me, there was a team in the NPL, Southern Stars, who got caught in a match-fixing scandal. Basically, what had happened was they had signed all these amazing players from like League 1 and League 2 in England, way better quality than the NPL, and they were lingering at the bottom of the table. So everyone was like, what the hell is going on here? But it came to light that I believe 4 senior players or something like that, were involved in betting on themselves to lose, I believe. It wasn't to win. And then everyone was sort of like, they've got all these quality players. When they want to beat teams, they can, but they can't. Like, they're not winning games. It's so weird. It's like they should be on top type thing. So Kotzi had told us a story that one night he was driving past Northcote and Southern Stars were due to play Northcote the next day. It was about midnight and 4 cars suspiciously pull in to Northcote's home ground. And Kotzi goes, should I go check on it? It might be something suspicious. It's probably just some kids. I'll leave them. Whatever. The next day, Southern Stars play Northcote at Northcote. Apparently, those 4 cars were the federal police, and they put microphones, small wiretaps on the goalposts and in the coach's box, and they actually picked up audio evidence of the keeper saying something along the lines of, boys, we got to go into halftime at 1-0 or whatever it was.
Don't cop a goal.
Don't cop a goal
'cause then
now.
We have to cop 2.
Because then we have to
before
cop
the half or
2.
something.
Yeah, something like that. And then there's everyone saw that the coach had left their technical area. He's on the phone. He goes to the 18-yard box. He's saying something to the keeper, and they're picking up audio from the coach's box as well, and then or the bench, and that is just incredible for that to be happening in the NPL.
Yeah.
And I that was sort of the crux of the story. Kotzi did mention other things regarding like jail sentences or someone fleeing the country or something like that. But it was a massive scandal, bro.
Yeah. Well, I was there. I played against them. That's why we were talking about it. I was at Northcote.
You were on the ground?
We versed them first half of the season. We beat them, I think, 3-0 or something like that. And as I said a few times now that we were dominating that year, I'm pretty sure we were undefeated at that point. And then the game that they got caught, they beat us. So I didn't play in that game, but they had obviously changed their betting in this game to go, okay, let's win or something.
Yeah.
So they're playing the top team. They've not won a game all year. We're undefeated, and then all of a sudden they win that game. And obviously they've done something with the betting around that. But I just remember everyone talking about like how are their individual players so good, and people are just smashing them every week, just winning every week.
Well, it says here that 6 men have been charged in relation to Australia's largest match-fixing scandal, including the coach, a goalkeeper, and a Malaysian national. The charges relate to an alleged match-fixing ring estimated to have reaped more than $2 million of winnings.
Wow.
Mainly overseas.
It's a lot higher than the MacArthur one.
Yep. Apparently it was in... So apparently it was... One second. So a Malaysian man linked to an international match-fixing syndicate. He was the point of contact in Melbourne.
Oh, right.
And 4 players were fined. Said only one of them was fined $1,500. Nothing.
Wow.
What the hell? That's so weird to me. And a few of the players that were involved were from England. So
Well, that was the other thing. I knew boys that were playing in the team at that time, and they had no idea.
Yeah.
They were like going, what's going on? We're such a good team. We're losing every week. What the fuck is going on?
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was $2 million, man. Obviously, I'm not sure that, all the money came from Southern Stars. Maybe it was other clubs involved around the world. But for that to be the figure is crazy. And I know there's going to be some NPL nerds in the comments saying, "No, you just got it all wrong. What happened?" I'm reading what I saw on the news and what a very well-informed insider in the NPL has told me. So that's what we're going with. Okay? I got to put these little things in there.
When are we adding in
Jerome
Jez's rant?
Jez's rants. Oh, man, that's every app I do something. But
Can we get a comment up?
Comments.
Let's get a comment.
That should be, you know what that should be? It should be either one of you jobs to find a tweet or a comment.
Best one.
You don't have to do it now.
I won't.
But to spring it on me
Yeah.
during an episode
Yeah,
so I can
cool.
be like, oh, you know?
All right. What else do we have to talk about? What else?
There was one more. There was one more thing. Was there anything else on this? Don't you one of you know a few players that were involved? Look at the Herald Sun.
Involved in what?
In the scandal, the Herald Sun, a disgraced soccer cheat who
Yeah,
helped
that's
throw
it.
matches to
Yeah.
aid an international betting syndicate.
Who said that?
Southern Stars coach and some players lost 3-0 instead of 4-0 and infuriated match-fixing syndicate leaders. So apparently
They stuffed it up.
They stuffed it up, apparently.
That's going back to the thing that you said before. What about if they're threatening you?
Yeah.
Is that what was the case, or maybe that wasn't the case in that one? I don't want to throw things in there, but I guess you never know what's. We don't want to speculate what was going on behind closed doors.
Apparently, Carlos's Tevez father got kidnapped when he was
Carlos's Tevez.
Yeah. There was a few
Carlos
of them.
Tevez
He's a twin.
got kidnapped when he was playing for Juventus. His father,
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time, bro.
and was in the slums.
What happened? Which African player did it happen to recently?
Carlos's Tevez.
Imagine that.
Carlos says. Yeah, but it happened to Luis Diaz.
If my dad got kidnapped, I'd let him go.
I wouldn't. I'd be on the front lines fighting for Kev.
Kev.
Fuck that.
I'd get Kev back.
We'd get Kev back straight
fast.
away. Don't even try it. I swear to God, don't even try it. The last thing, what are we at, Nor? Time-wise? Just under an hour. Okay. Yep, okay. Let's talk about junior NPL fees and why they're so expensive.
Oh, that's what it was, wasn't it?
Now, again, Kotsy broke this all down for us. I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. What I'm about to tell you does not mean we necessarily agree with the price range, or the price tag, I should say, for NPL junior fees. It's just the facts. We're going to break it down for you. Because a lot of people have messaged us and commented on our TikTok saying, talk about why NPL junior fees are so high. The reason we don't produce good players in this country is because they've got to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to play. We're going to break it down for you. Again, this is what I'm told. I don't know this for 100% certain. So, to play NPL as a junior, you're looking to pay somewhere between $2,200 to $2,500 average, right? Football Victoria or Football Australia, whoever was in charge of it, initially had set a set price for each club to pay the same. So that's what you had to pay. Now they've recently changed the rules where clubs can charge whatever they want. So if you wanted to charge $3,500 for an NPL junior fee, you could. There's no rules now. And I asked Kotsy, why is it so high? And these were the key points that he sort of pointed out to me, and apologize if I've forgotten any because it was 2 weeks ago. The first one is now they're playing under accredited and better coaches, not someone's wog uncle.
What could be someone's wog uncle, but they have to have a
Yes.
C license minimum.
Yes.
Apparently, which I did not know.
Yes. You sure it was C?
C license.
Yeah, so you have to have a C. So you got to go do your coaching courses and all that. So you're getting a decent coach off rip. He could be a bad coach, but like at least he's got the license, so it's a start. So you're getting that. Gear-wise, they're getting like 3 training kits, jumpers, jackets, different home and away kits, trackies, all
That
types
makes you
of
a better
stuff.
player. So it's better to chuck it in.
Well, nice smart ass comment there from Gav, but that comes at a price, obviously. Another thing was, I believe that they're training more than what the kids used to.
Nah. Don't train enough as it is.
I believe he said yes.
Okay.
A little bit more.
Right.
I believe we used to train twice, and now they train 3 times.
Okay.
I think.
That's what I heard as well, I think. So then he also added in that a lot of these NPL clubs have now, these juniors, we're talking 14 and 15-year-olds, have access to private gyms, to the facilities within the club, better change rooms, better this, better that. So that adds into it. Apparently they're playing how many games a year? He broke it down in terms of how much you're paying per game. I can't remember what exactly he said, but the price didn't sound too bad when he broke it down per game, or per week, I should say.
I think you said per week.
Yeah, it might have been per week. So they're some of the main factors as to why it is to that price. Now, while I personally believe that it is still too high, I brought up the point of, okay, for instance, if I'm a gun and I come from a lower socioeconomic background and my family can't afford to pay it, then what? And he straight out said, a lot of clubs will straight out give a scholarship. The kids or the family won't have to pay anything, and everything will be looked after by the club if the player is that talented, which I thought was good.
I believe he said every club. He could
Probably.
almost guarantee that every club has done that.
Yeah. So, again, I believe it's still too high personally, but it's sort of changed my opinion a little bit on everyone being in an outrage, over it, because of it was broken down for me. And it's like, all these things don't come for free. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were in Northcote's own personal gym that some of the junior players were saying, hey, can I come in and use it? There's no way you'd be able to do that when you were...
No, definitely not.
When you were younger.
My question would still be, I wish we had the audio.
Yeah.
Can't remember it. But I can't remember what he said, but my question would still be like, how much of that money is going to funding the seniors? And I think he said something, I'm pretty sure he said something around of like, I don't think he could speak too much for other clubs, but none of it was going to seniors at Northcote.
Yeah.
So, which
Well,
is
he
good
said they were
because-
2 separate entities, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he said something like that.
Yeah, that they were like 2 separate parts of the club type thing.
Yeah. But when I've spoken to other clubs, I know that at some clubs, their seniors is a cause for their need to make profit.
Of course, it
from
would
the
be.
juniors.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely happens in state leagues.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is, I think Kotsy might have mentioned, again, this is what I can remember from it, that now the clubs have more of like a specific playing style that filters down throughout the age groups.
Yeah.
You bring in technical directors, you bring in different types of coaches, better coaches, you're bringing in physios, strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
I didn't play at a high level. Did you have that at your age?
No.
There you go.
What, when I was a kid, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So that's why these things cost. You're not going to get them for free. That's just what it is.
I guess the issue is that people compare it to the rest of the world and they compare it to sports like AFL and NRL.
Yeah.
And that's where the disgust comes from. And fair enough, if you're comparing it to other places, that doesn't happen. But again, that comes down to, which is what Kotz said, like comes down to the funding that sports like AFL get from the government.
Kotzi made it very clear that soccer in this country is extremely underfunded, even though it's the most highly participated in sport. So there's another thing. So, for instance, if there's elite programs at basketball or Aussie Rules or whatever the hell, then they're probably getting more money from the government than these football programs are, allegedly.
So maybe the Tabcorp could start funding some of the junior soccer
Yeah, they got the money.
clubs.
Is basketball funded better than football in Australia?
I don't know for a fact, but I know that soccer, in terms of how many participants it has, is grossly underfunded. Like, if you look at the numbers. So then that's a whole other thing that clubs have to worry about. It's like, well, we're not getting, thousands of dollars from the governing bodies to pump into our junior stuff. It's like,
Did you know this? Wellington packed out their stadium on the weekend, right? Semi-finals.
Yep, 32.
Do you know that because it's a final series, the APL gets that revenue, not Wellington?
Oh, that's shit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was told 100% of
100%?
100% of food, beverage, everything that's profited from that event is the APL gets the money, not Wellington.
It's all
not
right,
the
bro.
clubs.
They can reboot Keep Up.
Yeah. put that back into
Put
Keep
the
Up.
money- yeah.
Or give us the money.
Oh, yeah, they never would. They never would.
We'll do a football, tennis.
We'll do one in the nooks. Straight in the middle of the pitch. Straight in the middle of the pitch, get the captain. Do a little bit of... Winner gets a $50 fish and chips voucher. Do a little thing in the middle of the pitch with the nooks.
You're good at that, bro.
So, yeah, I think that covers the NPL Junior Fees. Again, I know you guys are going to still disagree and still think it's too high, which I understand.
Yep.
And I'm in the same boat as you guys. But like I said, I have a better understanding now of... because these kids they're getting treated like they're in pro academies at this NPL level.
That's the thing, bro.
Oh, here we go. You're
Yeah.
going to say it?
What?
What we were talking about the other day, them getting big heads.
Who? The kids?
Yeah, because of, I'm not going to mention,
Oh, nah. We'll leave them alone for now.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
No. We'll leave them alone. But it's just like a C license. Is that, like you said,
Is it elite?
You could still be a very bad coach.
Of course, yeah, you could.
But I guess it creates a free market, right? It creates a free market where it's like, okay, if you're X club and you charge $3,000 and you're Y club and you charge $2,000, well, if you're X, you better provide $3,000 worth of value to be able to compete with the $2,000 one. Otherwise, people will go to there. So I guess it's a free market, so maybe it works itself out. But for the kids... Wait, what's community? What's community cost?
What do you mean, community?
Like the fees. What are the fees at community level?
Oh, like just what? Like just at a state league club?
For the kids, yeah.
Well, I know that for adults it was like 500 or something.
Yeah, right.
And we got, especially at my level, I got absolutely nothing. Like, I'm talking half the team didn't even pay their rego. I was the dickhead that paid the rego.
Oh, really?
Yeah, barely had a proper anything. No proper training pitch. No refs. Yeah, it's literally just a register. Like, there's no way that, it's...
Well, we're talking some A-League clubs don't have a field to train on it. That's another topic.
Yeah.
For another day.
Bloody hell, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's around that. I think that's what my brother pays as well in State League. Obviously, when money starts getting involved, when the players are paid, some clubs use it as a little sweetener. I'll pay your rego, so you don't have to worry about that. But I think that's the running price. When I was younger, though, I think it was around $250, something like that, at the shit level I played at.
Yeah.
But these kids, man, like, you know, like I said, gyms, strength and conditioning coaches, extra sessions, better coaches. Okay, yes, if they have their license, doesn't mean they're a great coach, but it does weed out the... That's what I'm saying. Like, at least there's a minimum bar of like, all right, you at least got to know... It's not just someone's dad filling in who, right, guys, I've got no idea about soccer, but I'm happy to help. I've Googled some drills and we'll do some kicks. When in doubt, kick it out. I learnt that. You know, I had plenty of those coaches, like even in other sports, basketball and stuff, just parents. Yeah. You know, they're the real heroes.
Yeah.
They're the real heroes. But I think that's it, bro. I think that's it.
Short one today, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think we had anything else that Kotsi said, was there?
No, it was NPL Junior Fees, the match fixing scandal, and yeah, NPL players going to A-League clubs. I think we covered them all.
Maybe we'll have to get him back on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get him back on. But yeah, we're doing 3 pods this week, guys. So
we're working hard out here, guys. And this is teething problems at the start. Sorry about this episode.
It happens.
What's happened, but
it happens. It won't happen again.
But we are on the...
We're on the move.
We're on the move and making sure it won't happen again.
Yeah, we're on the move. So please like, comment, subscribe. We're working our asses off here, guys. 3 pods this week for you guys. Completely different guests and topics and everything.
We've got a big one on Friday. We've got a big one.
All I'm going to say is that, yeah, you could say biggest guest so far. Pause. Because Fahid's packing. He's got real load management. Kitman was good. Githop, can I ask, did you measure your own dick before the players? Githop, come se dice? Did you... He just left. I think that's it. Yeah.
Has anyone asked the question where Gaff goes? When he just drops off the pod?
There's no way. He starts coaching at 5. I don't know. It doesn't take an hour to get there.
Oh, man.
That's it, guys. Thank you, Kotsi. Thank you, Northcote. We sort of slapped that one together, but I've still provided you with the incredible insight that you're not going to get anywhere else. Suited and booted. We out. Oh.